In this video, I'm gonna let you know 3 ways that really help me manage my anxiety and hopefully will help you as well. First of all, if you want to go to the summary section of this video, you can find it here. And now let's talk a little bit about anxiety. Anxiety can give you restlessness, irritability, mental fog, inability to concentrate, fatigue, stomach pain, nausea, dizziness. It can severely decrease the quality of job performance, schoolwork, and relationships. Also, we might react to the smallest changes as if our life is threatened. Now, first of all, before we start talking about those 3 ways, I would like to mention one overarching idea. And that is, at the end of your feeling is nothing, but at the end of every principle is a promise. Now, I understand that might be a little bit vague, so let me explain. In other words, sitting in a negative emotion will not result in anything good. Only moving, trying to do something about it, and experimenting with as many ways as possible to cope with anxiety will actually lead you somewhere. My intuition is that by nothing, Eric Thomas meant nothing beneficial that is remotely close to the value that a principle can give. By principles, in this case, is meant things that you can do or rules you can follow regularly that will allow you to systematically get rid of your anxiety. So how can you use this? So whenever you have anxiety, you can just remind yourself of this phrase and it will make it really clear that it does not have to be all-consuming. It does not have to stay here, and you can just eliminate it with principles, some of which I'm going to share with you here. You know, so many times when I had anxiety, I would have another idea that somehow this anxiety has to stay with me and there's nothing I can do about this. But was that true? No, but I felt like it was true. I felt like a victim. But this phrase tells the real truth because it reminded me that anxiety is not that all-powerful and all-consuming, and it's quite useless. It reminds me that anxiety is not really gonna help me accomplish anything of value. This phrase would repeatedly give me hope that if I follow some rules or principles or concepts, there would be a promise that this anxiety will soon diminish or even disappear. This phrase would always give me hope that if I follow some principles, then there's a promise that this anxiety will disappear or go away. So what are these principles I'm talking about? Number 1, any direction you're moving, you're building momentum. The more you feel any emotion over an extended period of time, the more you will want to feel that emotion. So the algorithm is this: experience an emotion, decide to focus on it, then the emotion grows, then you repeat steps 1 to 3, and then of course after a while of these cycles, a habit is formed. Then the mind labels the emotion as safe, which means it will stick and it will be hard to get rid of it. You start to expect it and look for it unconsciously. And finally, you get more of that same emotion. Did you notice that I wrote decide for point number 2? It was done for a good reason. Now the reason is you can decide which emotions to focus on. You can decide which emotion is going to have the authority to change your moods, to change your feelings, to change your experiences, to change your quality of life just by focusing on it. Notice that experiencing emotion might be both conscious or unconscious. It's okay to feel angry when someone slighted you. What's not okay, in my opinion, is to make this emotion stay way more than it needs to stay. Now, number 2 is interpretations. Whatever you radiate, you receive. You can think of interpretations as tools that will satisfy your daily dose of this emotion for the day. The more you will feel this emotion, the more you will start to feel like you need to feel this emotion. After a while of experiencing these emotions, you will start looking for interpretations that will make you feel this emotion even more. So let's say the same bad situation happens to 2 different women, Rebecca and Julia. Rebecca is full of anxiety and Julia is not, and the situation is that the person that they wanted to date did not even show up on the first date. Rebecca will create and focus on interpretations that will in turn magnify her most frequently visited emotional state, and that is anxiety. The interpretations might be these: I deserve this. Dating is not for me. That happened for a reason. I don't deserve a caring partner in my life. Being alone is not so bad after all. Here's another evidence why I cannot trust men. Now Julia will also focus on interpretations that will in turn magnify her most frequently visited emotional state, and that is calmness and confidence. The interpretations might be these: it is his problem, not mine. I deserve better than this. It's actually good that he made it clear that he's irresponsible, uncaring, and disrespectful now, and not later after I got pregnant. Not all men are bad. Not all men are like this. This situation is not gonna stop me. I am gonna find my person no matter what. Interpretations directly influence our emotional state, and our emotional state directly influences our actions. The quality of our life directly depends on the quality of our emotional patterns. And now the question is, which interpretation is true? The answer is, both are equally true. In theory, Rebecca and Julia could have chosen different interpretations, and these different interpretations would have changed their emotional states entirely. But in practice, they did not have that much of a choice, because they were doing this all unconsciously. They didn't know that they can change their interpretations, unlike you, because you now know that you can change your interpretations. Change your interpretations, change your emotional state. Now, who do you think is going to experience more anxiety there, Julia or Rebecca? Now, you receive what you radiate. You radiate anxiety, you are going to receive reasons and interpretations to feel even more anxiety. You radiate calmness, you are going to receive reasons and interpretations to feel even more calmness. You radiate confidence, you are going to receive even more interpretations and reasons to feel confidence. Number 3. Reality is often kinder than you think it is. Anxiety and worries are connected. Did you know that on average 90% of your worries don't come true? That means there's about 90% chance that we are dealing with a mental fabrication rather than reality. How many times have you worried about something that in the end turned out to be far less severe than you predicted it would be? How many times have you been fooled by the drama of your imagination? How do you know that right now it's not your imagination? To be fair, how do you know that it is your imagination? But then why would you react as if it's true when there's 90% chance that it is not true? How do you know that you have to react like this? Would you trust somebody that lies to you 90% of the time? If not, then why would you trust your worries? Why would you react as if it cannot lie, as if it lies 0% of the time? Trace back to the source of the worry and then see if there's something that you can do, if there's something that is dependent upon you. If there's something you can do, then do everything possible to minimize the chance of that happening. If there's not, well then you cannot do anything about it. It's just like the weather. When you resist an experience and you cannot run away from that experience, then there will be a lot of unnecessary suffering when you do experience it. When you give yourself the permission to accept the possibility that this experience might happen in the future, then when this experience happens, you are feeling way lighter than you would have otherwise. Whether it happens or not is not your choice. Whether you experience this thing with resistance level 3 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 10 out of 10, or maybe 0 out of 10, it's entirely up to you. Alright, thank you very much for investing your time in this video. Now, as promised, here's the summary of this video, but first, if you like this video, please click the like button below and consider subscribing. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. See you next time.